This song is written by Swami Kripamayananda on the advent of Shri Ramkrishna. Heavenly breeze bringing the sounds of sweet songs. Let's go and see the brightness of millions of sun and moon. O Khudiram, which godly being did you bring to this earth by searching through heavenly garden? This earth is full of suffering and sins. People are lost in illusion and selfishness. You came to initiate love and dispassion like rain of love in dry desert. Molaya Shomire Bheshe Ashe Ki Madhur Giti Lahari Ki Madhur Giti Lahari Molaya Shomire Bheshe Ki madhur giti lahari, ki madhur giti lahari. Cholo dekhe ashe ujjaleche dishe, cholo dekhe ashe ujjaleche dishe, koti shashi Rupama Dhuri Ki Madhur Giti Lahari Ki Madhur Giti Lahari Malaya Shomire Bheshe Ashe Ki Madhur Giti Lahari Ki madhur giti lahari. Tapo khena kai Khudiram hai sadhana kori kothor. Tapo khena kai Khudiram hai sadhana kori kothor. Kon devotai anila dharai, kon devotai anila dharai, nandana bona bihari ki madhur giti lahari ki madhur giti lahari. Pape tape bhara ei molino dhara sarthak dushman. Pape tape bhara ei molino dhara sarthak dushman. এই মরুভূমে বুঝিয়ে নেমে, এই মরুভূমে বুঝিয়ে নেমে, সিঞ্চিতে প্রেম বারি কি মধুর গীতি lahari কি মধুর গীতি lahari. কে আছো অলস হৃদয়ে নীরব স্বার্থময় তে ভুলিয়া, কে আছো অলস হৃদয়ে নীরব
I'm reading from the book Shri Ramakrishna and His Divine Play by Swami Maharaj. The chapter is Discourse on Bhava, Samadhi and Darshana. We all know Swami Vivekananda was the foremost among the followers of the immature, formless aspect of God. The Master placed him not only as the foremost of that group, but also of all the classes of devotees. Under the influence of Western education and of the Brahmo Samaj, Vivekananda would sometimes make caustic remarks about the followers of God with form, especially during an argument. Sometimes the Master would set up a lively debate between him and some devotees of God with form, and then enjoy the fun. On these occasions, almost no one could withstand Vivekananda's fluent argumentation. His keen intellect and sharp reasoning left his opponents speechless, and some of them also felt hurt when this happened. Sometimes the Master would joyfully mention this to others. The other day, Narendra cut the arguments of so-and-so into pieces. What an outstanding intellect! But one day, Swamiji was silenced when arguing with Girish, a follower of God with form. On that occasion, we felt that the Master took Girish's side in order to strengthen and nourish his faith. On another day, while talking with the Master, Swami Vivekananda referred to the belief of the devotees of God with form as blind faith. The Master replied, "Well, can you explain what you mean by blind faith? Faith is always blind. Has faith any eyes? Either simply say faith or say knowledge. What do you mean by classifying faith, one kind having eyes, the other being blind?" Swami Vivekananda said later, "In fact, I was embarrassed when explaining the meaning of blind faith to the Master that day. I really could not find any meaning to that expression. After understanding that the Master's words were true, I never again used that phrase. The Master looked equally upon the devotees of God with form and those who followed the immature doctrine of the formless God. He also told them what kind of meditation would be helpful. He said, 'Look, during my sadhana, I used to look upon God as if He had completely covered the universe like the water of the ocean. And like a fish, I was diving, floating, and swimming in that ocean of Satchidananda. Again, sometimes I considered myself to be a pitcher, immersed in the water of that indivisible Satchidananda, which pervaded me through and through.' He also said, 'Look, before you begin meditating, think of this,' pointing to himself, 'for a while. Do you know why I say this? Because you have faith in this place, that is me. If you think of this place, that will remind you of God. It is like when one sees a herd of cows, one remembers a cowherd. Seeing a son, the father. Seeing a lawyer, the court. Do you understand? Look, your mind is scattered among various places. If you think of this, me, it will be gathered in one spot. And if you think of God with that concentrated mind, you will truly get deep meditation. That is why I am telling you all this." The Master continued, Whatever form of God or spiritual mood you like, hold on to that firmly. Only then will you get steadfast devotion. God can be reached through devotion. Can anyone attain Him without that? One needs bhava, spiritual mood. One should adopt a particular attitude and call on Him. As is a man's meditation, so is his feeling of love. As is a man's feeling of love, so is his gain. And faith is the root of all. One should cultivate a spiritual attitude and faith and hold on to Him firmly. Only then can one succeed. Do you know what bhava means? It is to establish a relationship with God and then to remember it all the time. For example, I am a servant of God. I am a child of God. I am a part of God. This is the right ego, the ego of knowledge. Always remember this, even while you are eating, sitting and resting. Again, I am a Brahmin, I am a Kshatriya, I am the son of so and so, I am the father of so and so. These are all examples of unripe ego, the ego of ignorance. One should shun this because it increases vanity and pride and brings bondage. One should practice the constant recollectedness of God. Part of the mind should be directed towards Him always. Only then will you succeed. Establish a particular spiritual relationship with God and make Him your very own. Only then can you force your demands on Him. Look at human relationships. In the beginning of intimacy, one addresses the other apni, as it depends to me. When it reaches the final state, tui. This one should make God one's very own. Only then will you succeed. Yes.
friends, today is an auspicious day. Exactly 182 years ago, on this day, 18th of February, around 1 a.m. in India was born Sri Ramkrishna in the hamlet of Kamarpur. Just after Sri Ramakrishna's birthday ceremony yesterday, today we have planned to meditate on him. Swami Kripamayananda, the direct disciple of Holy Mother, has beautifully described who is Sri Ramakrishna. One, the song we heard in the morning. In another song, he said that there is an infinite expanse of consciousness. And that ocean of bliss and consciousness, a small wave arose by the compassion and love of God. And that wave took the form of Sri Ramakrishna. The Satchidananda taking the form, human form, and coming and playing amongst us. The divine Leela that lasted for 50 years is meant to enlighten the world for ages to come. Sri Ramakrishna is for his devotees the ultimate Satchidananda. Let's try to meditate on Sri Ramakrishna. The closer we get to him, the more we are able to love him, the more of the truth and essence of Sri Ramakrishna is revealed to us. What and who really he is. First of all, let us be aware we are all seated in a very pure area where his name is sung every evening and morning, where his devotees repeat his name and think on God. Let us sow that purity. Being in this holy place, let us feel that we are purified in our body and mind. Let us feel free from all the shackles and attachments. Let us breathe in the purity by deep breathing in slow rhythmic motion, and then releasing the air in the same slow rhythmic motion. Let us do it for 5 times. Let us now repeat the holiest of the word, the symbol of God, the Pranava, which is pronounced as Om. Please join me in chanting Om 5 times. Let us visualize infinite expanse of blissful ocean. Effulgent, calm, wherever we see is only that ocean of light, east, west, north, south. Visualize a wave in the ocean of bliss. Visualize the rising wave. At the top of the wave is the human form, made up of the same consciousness as the ocean. And that form is our familiar form of Sri Ramkrishna. Let us meditate on effulgent form of Sri Ramkrishna on the wave in the ocean of Satchidananda. For a few minutes. beautiful lotus flower in our spiritual heart, fresh, fully bloom. Visualize petals and different parts of the flowers in the center of your being, representing your spiritual heart. Spread on it is a mat, asana. Let us invoke the presence of Sri Ramakrishna on this lotus flower. Sri Ramakrishna is standing on the mat, on that lotus of our heart. Visualize the lotus feet. Touch it with your hands softly. Sri Ramakrishna's every part is very soft. Offer a handful of flowers to the lotus feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Remove the flowers. Touch his feet with your forehead. Imagine Sri Ramakrishna is now sitting on that asana in the lotus of your heart. Visualize his legs, his cloth, his body, his arms, his hands, on his lap. Visualize the neck of Sri Ramakrishna and his shoulders. Now see the face, beaming with unethereal joy. Eyes half open. Lips parted in smile, expressing the joy of union with Brahman. of kindness and compassion embodied. The teacher for the whole mankind. Took the form to show us the light and path for our ultimate good. See his beautiful and most adorable form, devoid of any ornaments, simplest of clothings. No trace of even rajas, all sattvika and fullest manifestation of God, as he himself said and saw. Sri Ramakrishna, the symbol of eternity, where time stops. What remains is only bliss. Let us be with him in the deepest recess of our heart for a few minutes. Just think of him, meditate on him. Let your mind not waver to anything else of this world. Only the thought of this most lovable form of God, purest and the best. While doing that, you may repeat the mantra or just repeat the name of Sri Ramakrishna. Let's do it for 15 minutes. Sit erect, your head, neck and trunk in one straight line. And the flow of thought with Sri Ramakrishna. Let us be united with Sri Ramakrishna for the next 15 minutes. Shri Ramakrishna is blessing us by putting his hands on our head. May you be illumined, তোমাদের চৈতন্য হোক। Let us now visualize that Sri Ramakrishna is seated in the hearts of all of us, effulgent, living and blissful form of God, in the deepest core of every human being. Let's visualize this. Let us imagine that the form of Sri Ramakrishna is merging in the wave of Satchidananda, the blissful light of ocean, and resides in the heart of everyone as purity, love, goodness, as divinity, very essence of every soul is this divinity at the core in every human being. Every soul is divine. Let us try to behave with every being as the divine, as our very own soul, and treat them with respect and love. The one that is in the innermost core of every being is that Supreme Self, our own essence, whom we call Shri Ramakrishna. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupini Avatara Varisthaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna